What is going on with lumber prices and what does it mean for the general economy? This is Dave Pellegrinelli, licensed building contractor, general contractor, and we've been monitoring the construction industry from an economic standpoint for several years now. And one of the things that's a very clear indicator of what's going to happen in the building industry, but also in the general economy, is what happens to lumber prices. And if you've been watching our channel for the last few years, you've seen us monitor the huge spike in lumber prices that happened a few years ago and what that meant, and all those predictions came true. So now there's a different dynamic happening with lumber prices, and that is that they're crashing, and it's at a time when they're not supposed to be crashing. Lumber prices this time of year are supposed to be solid because it's the building season. People are supposed to be doing new construction, additions, remodels. And the fact that demand is not there, and also the fact that lumber prices are crashing, is kind of a canary in the coal mine for what might be happening in the future. The other invisible factor is, over the last 18 to 24 months, many sawmills and lumber producing equipment providers have shut down. And even though the capacity for producing lumber and building goods has been reduced, it's still not enough to keep prices from falling, even with lower production. And that's because the demand is really, really low. What does that tell you? Well, where does demand come from? Demand comes from people in the building industry, developers, speculators, who are purchasing lumber to build new homes, to put additions on homes, to do speculative construction. These industries, these professionals, are not putting that money out there. They're not betting their money that there's going to be a demand for homes in the future, the near future, 6 to 18 months. And they're probably right, because they know what the demand is. They're talking to realtors, or they're seeing the economy. It has to do with interest rates. Even though they've leveled off a little bit, they're still high, and most people realize this is where they're going to be. It also has to do with the general economy, where people are not as overemployed as they used to be. Employment level in terms of percentages is not really, really bad, but the income level for people compared to the economy, compared to inflation, is very, very low. Even if your income got bumped up 2 or 3% a year for the last few years, inflation has gone up 15 or 20%, sometimes 30% in the same period of time. So people are feeling like they're making less money. They're not going to be out there looking to up. You will be back in your video in just a few seconds. In the meantime, remember that actualhuman.com offers you live one-on-one private video consultation with an expert in this exact subject. We want to listen to your story. We want to hear your questions. We want to give you expert advisement of your options and tell you what we know about your particular situation. Now back to your video. Upgrade their home, either to do an addition, to do a remodel, or to buy a new home, because it's going to be expensive. The builders know this, the people with money know this, so they're not putting the money out there. So what does that mean for the future? In the short run, it tells you that if you follow that trend and you can clone that logic, the economy is not going to be great in the next few years for large scale purchases and for employment and for GDP. You may also find that 5 or 6 years down the road, 2028, 2029, you may find that there's another housing shortage, because if the builders are holding back on constructing new homes right now, there's going to be an domino effect of that. Then in a few years, as the population still grows, there's going to be a need for more homes. What's happening is more and more people are turning to rentals as a way to have a roof over their head. Whether it's an apartment complex or single family home rentals, these rentals are being provided by large scale commercial real estate owners. They're hedge funds, they're investment funds that own these buildings. And the fact that that's where the money is flowing to tells you something. The money is predicting that rental will be the wave of the future for homeownership. Another factor that is affecting this, and who knows if it's cause or effect, is insurance. It used to be that in most parts of the country, homeowners insurance, property and casualty insurance was relatively reasonable. It wasn't a huge part of your budget. Except for maybe in catastrophic areas like Florida with hurricanes, California with wildfires, maybe earthquake, some coastal areas with flood. But now you're finding that insurance rates are getting into the catastrophic range for homeowners, property and casualty, in many parts of the country. Oklahoma, Iowa, Missouri, Texas are all seeing homeowners rates going up 20-30% because of catastrophic risk from flooding, from tornadoes, from wildfires, and this is spreading around the country. This is putting a crimp on homeownership cost because the price of the home and the mortgage is only one part of your monthly payment. Your insurance is part of that. Your taxes are part of that. And as insurance goes up, it may cut back $20,000 or $30,000 off your buying power of buying a new home, and that's going to affect people's budget, and that could be 10-20% of what somebody can spend for a house. So I know you have opinions about this. Let us know in the comments what your experience is for your budget, your home ownership budget, and what you expect to be doing in the future, and what you expect to be happening for home ownership rates in the United States. Thank you for watching another episode of Actual Human Advisory on Describe TV. Remember, we have live one-on-one consultation appointments available at actualhuman.com, where you can book a one-on-one undivided attention live call with a licensed investigator, a licensed insurance broker, a licensed mortgage broker, real estate broker. I'm also a certified real estate title examiner, a certified civil court mediator, along with having developed and started over 15 businesses, several of which were sold for millions of dollars. So if you do have questions in any of those categories, you can arrange a one-on-one live video consultation. Use the link below, and we'll see you on the next video.